Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone. Peace and salutations unto the 144,000. This lesson here going to be a quick one, Lord willing. Just flowing through the story in Jeremiah 16. It says, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither shalt thou have sons or daughters in this place, right? Because we're approaching that time, even though this was back then, it could be referenced now as well. So we're approaching that time where, things getting serious, and as we read down, we're going to tell you how serious and why it is the Lord saying that. So it says in verse 3, For thus saith the Lord concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their monsters that bear them. It says, Salakia, and concerning their mothers that bear them. It says, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried. Neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. And this scriptural in another book as well, which is in Revelation. In Revelation it tells you about the fowls of the heaven, going to be eating up the carcasses from the king's man, from the captains, all these people, all these different people is going to feed it, So it just to show you that, again, the time's coming where things going to be so dread, right? It even makes sense to have sons and daughters in this place, Now, of course, it's our brothers and things who have children, and that can be helped, right? Because at the end of the day, Yahweh is the one in charge. But the thing about it is, there's more referring to the wicked ones too as well. You understand? Because they talk about the wicked mothers and the wicked fathers, basically. You understand? So it's more or less for them, right? But we often tell you guys that not because you're in the truth, you think that your son or your daughter, will automatically be saved because you're in the truth. Unless they're youngins where, like, let me say newborns and toddlers and stuff like that, they ain't really, they're not fully aware of what is what and, severity of what, so to speak. But you see, if you're trying to train your child and, they're being disobedient or they don't want to listen and stuff like that, hey, truth be told, the Lord will put them to death. You understand? That is just the truth. But at the end of the day, we could only pray, right? Hey, Salakia. I'm going to continue in the spirit here. So I just want to continue, as I say, but we want to start back from verse 4. Alright? I don't think I read verse 4 yet. But let's go. It says, They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried. But they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. Alright? And that is it. And this, imagine this. This is some, the scripture says it is grievous deaths. You understand? Grievous deaths. Because think about this. The scriptures talk about teats of wild beasts and all these different things. New creatures coming out. Creatures you never himself see before. I don't know if it's this video or the video I did before where I was talking about the Amazon jungle. You understand? Because the Amazon jungle, right, is full up of creatures that have yet to be seen, because man can't just explore they just so. We don't know what kind of creatures it have in there. You understand? And then to how much surface you already getting there. You understand? Because that's a big space now. I can't say for certain, you know, if Esau really, you know, explore the whole thing or whatever it is. You understand? Because I personally haven't done any research on it, right? But even if they were to search out the whole thing, like let's say, you know, they went from one side to the other, right? I highly doubt that they actually get to see every single creature that's in that forest. You understand? Don't talk for in the ocean. We know for sure they search the whole thing. You understand? They only reach about 7%. Last time it was 2%. I think it's 7 now. I'm not sure, but I know it ain't cross 10. So it just goes to show, yeah. So it just shows that it have a lot more to be discovered. You understand? But the Lord not gonna let them see it, because why? He appointed bones so they can't see. Huh? Yeah, right. Yeah, so what I'm saying too, you know, these fowls and these beasts and things, they don't want to be the ones that we are accustomed seeing every day, right? It literally could be them as well as new beasts. You understand? And even when we talk about new beasts too, these same beasts, that these abominations that Esau making in the labs and all these different things by crossing genes and genetics and stuff. You understand? It's because why? You understand? All of that is new beats, so the Lord gonna use them same spirits to fucking hunt them down and kill them. You understand? But let me just stray from the topic too much. Right? If we go into verse 5, it says, "For thus saith the Lord, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament, nor bemoan them, for I have taken away my peace from this people, saith the Lord, even loving kindness and mercies." So you see, the Lord said he do that because why? We was disobedient, right? But now as we reading this and this time in here, we could say this put it into the 2/3, right? Because the elect now, right, the 1/3, Lord willing, you know, the sincere Akim in the shoot here, you know, we are part of that number and we make it out. But the 2/3 on them, they have a rude fucking awakening to get. You understand? And that's why the Lord write these kind of texts here for us, because we had to be vigilant, you know, as to what it is going on right now. You know, that's why the Lord tell we don't enter into the outer mourning, because you can't nothing to mourn for this place. Look, the Lord when he was even talking about Babylon, right? When he say we something effect like roughly paraphrasing, where he say we should have healed Babylon, but she can't be healed or something. So, you know. And the thing about it is, the Lord already passing judgment upon Babylon and the 2/3 as well as the rebels around the world, right? If they doing their wickedness after we preach unto them, what is the point of we mourning for them? You understand? When we think about it from that aspect, it really don't make sense. At the end of the day, we're only human, eh? So we're not saying that we're not going to feel, you know, a kind of way at some point in time, you know, with if we see someone die, especially if it's a close friend or family or whatever it might be. You understand? But that's why we had to gird up our loins, as the scripture says. We had to straighten ourselves, because if we let that to overtake we, you understand, then hey, we are in trouble, and because we gonna be so focused on them that we gonna be fucking up. You understand? We gonna be lamenting and bawling for them and all kind of thing. And we basically go slow down our own pace because we studying them. Right? But two things. Right? One, as I already said, they already get their judgment. Right? It's we had to fight the fight, which leads me to the second thing. They already in a peaceful state. You know? Now we know that to come back to get a judgment. Right? But at least they're getting a break from all the fuckery that's happening in the world right now. You understand? So that is be the plus side with that. But me personally, of course, it's up to the Lord. So I just say Lord willing, It's a part of the elect, but one that, endure straight to the end, Being a martyr is not a bad thing, of course, But I just hoping the Lord give me that strength where it is I could actually talk it out straight to the end. Trusting and believing fully and solely on Him. You understand? And Akim around me that, that we could keep each other strong, that true and faithful, same as me. That kind of way. And I know every brother who sincere pray for the same thing. Alright, in the sense of wanting, real brothers around them where it is, you could go all the way for and all the way with. Right? So this is verse 6. It says, both the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Right? And remember, this is part of religious thing too. Because remember, in the curses, the Lord tell us to even do that. Right? But you could do that. But of course, this could also refer to the heathens as well, right? And as I say, Jake who think that there's heathens, and worshiping these other gods because they thinking there's Indian or there's Chinese or whatever it is. So they might follow the religious custom where these things is concerned, But the Lord say, nobody ain't gonna have time to do that. You understand? Nobody gonna have time to do that. They're gonna be running for their life. They're gonna be running for their life. They're gonna be frantic. The scriptures talk about man's heart feeling and for fear too. You understand? Because why? It's all kind of things they're gonna be seeing, especially when the Lord touched down. That is a piece of aura. You understand? So this is verse 7. It says, neither shall men tear themselves for them in mourning to comfort them for the dead, neither shall men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or for their mother. Thou shalt not also go into the house of feasting to sit with them to eat and to drink. Right? And this is why the Lord had us to do this. You understand? This is why He had us to do this. So He tell us, don't go into the house of mourning and don't go into the house of feasting. You understand? Because why? We had to be in the house of the Lord, the house of David. You understand? What He building up. You understand? So when that the Lord do that for we, make that sacrifice, shalom. Yeah. Knowing the Lord make that sacrifice for we, right? To make sure that we get His truth, so to speak. He would expect us to go into the house of mourning or go into the house of feasting. You understand? As I say, we had to be in the house of David. You understand? That is what the Lord willing. So He don't expect us to be with these tutors and them out there. That is now His style. You understand? So it don't make sense mingling with tutors and you're balling for this one and you're balling for that one, and we already know that certain judgment was gonna pass. You understand? If we see somebody pass, right, we can't say, well, I know this person was gonna die this way. You understand? But we know that because this person was living a certain life, you understand, judgment bound to catch up on them sooner or later. You understand? So we as men of the Lord supposed to be able to brace ourselves and know, well, hey, there's gonna come, whether it be friend, family, or whatever it might be. And expect the tutors and them to be all over here and they're balling and they say, hey, how you feeling this way? And all these different things. There's a bunch of mixed emotions and all kind of these high man thing. You understand? But hey, the Lord said it. That's how we had to do it. So our blessed lesson was edifying through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Till next time, say shalom and harak babal to this place.